My name is Patti Harvey, and I live in New Brighton, Minnesota, and I'm a volunteer for LifeSource. And the reason I'm a volunteer is because I'm a donor mom. When Danny was 17 and my son Peter was just 10, we were watching TV one night while eating dinner, which probably isn't the best thing to do, but we were. Something came on TV about a heart transplant that the University of Minnesota was doing. And out of the blue, Danny said to me, "Mom, if anything ever happens to me, I want to be a donor." Well, it's a common sense thing for me. It just makes sense. Why would you not be a donor? And then he said, if I should die, I would rather be cremated. And I'm thinking, why would a 17-year-old child ever think of that? Why would they bring it up? But I remembered that. Well, Danny was my firstborn, and he was a wonderful child. I've heard him described here. I think he was similar to your brother. He's kind of a little hellraiser and doing all sorts of things. Many stories I could tell you, but the one that I like to bring up, because Jeff likes it, when he was just 4 years old, we lived in New Brighton, not too far from a railroad track. And Danny was playing with the bigger boys. They were all teenagers, and they were much more advanced than he was. But one day the train was going by, and these teenagers jumped on the train, and so did my 4-year-old child. Do you see this gray hair, ladies? That's when it started. But he was full of life and loved people and everything. He did. He graduated from Irondale High School and followed his girlfriend out to Salt Lake City, Utah. And while he was out there, they got together, they were engaged, and then they broke up, back and forth, on and on, always. But one night, he decided that he was going to go out and have a party because he had broken his leg, or his ankle, while he was skiing that year, and had not been able to ski. He just loved living in Utah. He loved the mountains. He raced mountain bikes down the hills and skied and did all sorts of things. Never was going to come back to Minnesota. But he had broken his ankle. He missed most of the ski season, so that particular time they were getting ready to go on the spring splash, they call it. They ski down the mountains when the snow is melting down at the bottom. They like to do that for some reason. I haven't figured that out. But anyway, he was going to do that the next day, but they decided to party the night before. So Danny went with another friend in the car. He was driving. He was drunk. And he took off to go get some more beer for this party. He hit a little lip on the road on the way back while he was crossing a bridge and lost control of the car. Steve, the young man with him, braced himself, because none of them were wearing seat belts, and Danny lost control of the car, even though he tried very hard to hold it, I understand, and rolled the car 4 times, and he went through the windshield. I got the call in the middle of the night that my son had been in this accident, and I was in Minnesota, and he was in Utah. So we got on the plane and went as quickly as we could out there, my sister and a friend and I. When I walked into the hospital room, I thought, he's going to be all right. Number one, Mom's here. I'm going to pull him back. I'm going to hang on to him. You understand that, don't you? And he looked okay. He was warm. He had black eyes. He had his head shaved, but that was nothing new for Danny. His head had been shaved many times. And I thought, he's going to be okay. He really is. But then again, they did all the tests. They kept checking, and then finally they said to me, your son is brain dead. And I said, he's a donor. I remembered he was a donor. And so they came and talked to me about organ donation, and I agreed to whatever they could use for my son to pass on to someone else. And they used his heart. 42-year-old truck driver with 4 kids. My dad was a truck driver. I'm one of 4 kids. That meant something to me. It really did. 53-year-old guy who contracted hepatitis during the service of his country received my son's kidney, liver. I need coaching once in a while. And he's alive and well today. Pancreas and kidney went to a 32-year-old fellow who was a juvenile diabetic, father of 3 children. He's alive and well, and I've met him. He's come to Minnesota. He went to Irondale to walk the streets where Danny went to school. he just so thankful. And he too went through the guilt feeling. And the first time I met Mike, he cried and he said, "I'm so sorry. I prayed for help and your son died." I said, no, Danny died because he drove drunk and he rolled his car and he had a head injury. It wasn't your fault, Mike. I'm just glad that he helped you. Mike's alive and well today. He's a grandfather. His youngest daughter is now graduating from high school. He's been able to work and support his family. And this is all because of the donation that he received from my son, the gift. My son is his hero, and mine too. It's his legacy. I can tell you more stories, but I think that that's just about enough about Danny right now. But I do want to tell you and everybody, take care of yourselves. We don't want you to be donors. We want you to support it. How you can support it is to listen to this story that I'm telling you. Talk to your family. Let them know how you feel. And sign up on your driver's license or on our website. Check that little green thing I handed out, because the website's on there. You can hear many more stories and learn a lot more about Life Source while you go on that website. So, thank you for your time, and goodbye.